In the small, mountainous Republic of Georgia, nestled within the expansive Russian Empire, a young boy named Joseph Jugashvili was born into a world of hardship and struggle. Raised in poverty, his life was marked by scarcity and adversity. Yet, this young boy, who would later be known as Joseph Stalin, was driven by an unyielding ambition, a fervor to escape the dire straits and make his mark on the world. Driven by a hunger for change, Stalin found his path in the Russian Social Democratic Labor Party, a revolutionary group opposing the oppressive Tsarist regime. His fervor was unwavering, and as a young revolutionary, he sought to fund the group's efforts by engaging in audacious bank robberies. A mastermind in the shadows, he channeled his cunning into acts of daring subversion, raising funds for Lenin's Bolshevik faction. Stalin's involvement extended beyond the realm of finance. He became instrumental in shaping the party's message, editing its newspaper with a vision of a future where the proletariat would reign supreme. The Russian Revolution of 1917 was a seismic event that shook the nation to its core, dismantling the old order and paving the way for socialist ideologies to take root. The Bolsheviks, led by Lenin, seized power amidst the chaos. Stalin, a steadfast supporter and loyal follower of Lenin, found himself ascending the ranks, becoming the General Secretary in 1922. This was the position from which he would slowly consolidate unparalleled authority. The death of Lenin in 1924 marked a critical juncture in Soviet history. As the leader's influence faded, Stalin's power grew in the shadows. Through strategic maneuvering and an astute understanding of political dynamics, he positioned himself as Lenin's successor. His rise to supremacy was not marked by flamboyance, but a quiet and calculated assertion of control. Under Stalin's rule, the ideology of socialism in one country took precedence, a principle that sought to establish socialism independently of outside influence or assistance. The chapter of history that bore the deep imprints of Joseph Stalin was marred by both terror and idolization. Despite being the architect of an era drenched with fear, famine, and purges, Stalin managed to cast an indelible aura of invincibility. His grip on the Soviet Union did not wane, even as the delicate balance of global politics tipped into the nerve-wracking anxieties of the Cold War. The Soviet Union, still nursing its wounds from the colossal devastations of World War II, found itself scrambling to assert dominance against the looming Western powers. It was in these shadows of geopolitical turmoil that Stalin's image as a paragon of socialism stayed etched in the minds of many. For some, he embodied the triumph of socialist ideals. For others, he was the harbinger of a stringent, iron-fisted realm. Yet, the aftermath of the war was not merely political maneuvering. The year 1949 witnessed another grim chapter, a famine that gnawed hungrily at the Soviet populace. In parallel, ruthless purges tightened their grips around the Soviet Jewish intellectual community, leaving no room for dissent or deviation. Stalin's health, a closely guarded secret veiled by the blinding light of his cult of personality, finally faltered in 1953. The end came quietly. On March 5, 1953, a stroke reclaimed him at the age of 74. His death, however, did not mark a gentle descent. Rather, it was a chaotic crescendo. Mourning Stalin's demise laid bare the devotion and desperation of his followers. Lines stretched endlessly as mourners descended upon Moscow to pay their final respects. Reports conflicted as the casualty figures emerged. A pressing and suffocating crowd crush claimed the lives of at least 109 individuals, with speculation of the toll rising into the thousands. In stark contrast to many counterparts of his ilk, Stalin's demise did not coincide with an erosion of power or popularity.